Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2020. After a rather rough outing last time with our defeats to both Black Leopards and Ecuador, today we can get a nice comfortable revenge tour with Curacao, who we should be able to beat easily with the Canadian national team, and then Stellenbosch FT for Amazulu to get their win back. So this is a bit of a bounce back day. Hopefully it stays easy and unexciting, because if it gets exciting it probably means that someone important has gotten injured or suspended or something that'll have effects throughout the season. So with luck, nothing interesting happens today and my team stays healthy. The nice thing is with the international break we won't be putting out quite such battered teams when we get back to the Premiership, because those teams we were playing in the last couple of matches were not impressive lineups, but it was just the best we could do with everyone being exhausted and not having the depth of previous seasons. Don't need to pay that guy, so he'd be nice to bring on, even if the team, or even if he isn't South African. I kind of wish the registration rules were just like only like three, or I can't remember if it's 3 or 5, but only a limited number of non-Africans instead of specifically South Africans, because I think I could really build something special if I could draw heavily from the surrounding nations. Oh no. Okay, they need to stop calling up Siasi. I can't afford to pay $450,000 right now. And I don't like that that's something outside of my control. The board negotiated a very bad deal for me there. If I was negotiating the contract, I would have never accepted that clause, but I left contract negotiations in the hand of my board, and sometimes they do stuff like that to me. It's kind of fun to play it like a little bit more of a realistic situation where the manager doesn't get to dictate transfers necessarily. And so I don't generally like to take full control of the recruitment myself. I kind of like the idea of having the board making decisions that can go either way. Makes it a little more interesting. Crowley's going off the short lifts. That's fine. He's Irish. I don't think I could have fit him into the team. Oh, God. Oh, good. We rejected it. I was going to say. I can't lose Fountain. He's like one of my key players. But they didn't want to pay me nearly enough for him. Problem is, they'll probably come back in like a week with a better offer, and at some point my board will have to take it because they'll just throw so much money at it. Apparently, I have to limit David's minutes. That's unfortunate. mean, I don't need him to beat Curacao for the whole game, but we're severely lacking in stars this camp, and I do like to keep some on the pitch to give the fans something to root for. $30 degrees, so we're just warm enough to start really impacting people's stamina. Breezy, good pitch. What do I know about Mendoza after the last guy sucked? This guy's probably not good enough to be reffing a senior international game, but he's substantially better than the last ref we had, so I'm not going to complain too much. Still don't think we should make any suggestions or changes. We have a pretty good team out there. Haber's not quite the level we'd like. Kemp's not good. Mujkic isn't great, and that's it for people that are below the level I'd like for this team. So it's actually one of our better Canadian teams we've been able to match. Or field. Why did I say match? Because it was in front of me in the sign. The big issue is David is at star player status, and I'd like to probably have him out there to entertain the fans, but I'm going to have to pull him off at halftime. I can't justify playing him for 90 minutes when his club manager doesn't want it against Curacao in a friendly. And I noticed it was showing there that they want me to only have Mujkic for 45 minutes too. I really don't remember seeing that in the right up on the limited play time. I'm okay with honoring it, but I don't have any. And Curacao are shocking us with a goal by Castanier, assisted by Bakuna 4 minutes into the match. I might have spoken too soon when I said this was a bounce back game. Because that wasn't even a fluke goal. They just straight up outplayed us there. Castanier looks pretty good. But yeah, it does say Mujkic is limited time, so I'll take him off too. I don't have any strong opinions about keeping Mujkic on the pitch. Now Curacao are probably going to park the bus and try to just keep this 1-goal lead. But Amrani immediately equalized, assisted by Kemp. I wasn't too worried about that goal, even though it was actually a good goal. We're just so much better, we should be able to outshoot them. And it woke the team up, so they'll pay a little more attention now. It's going to be a lot harder for Curacao to pull that off again. De La Paz with nice save there. Yeah, I told them to make short passing plays that should tighten things up, because it's those long passes that Curacao are taking advantage of. Nice strike by Amrani. He's having a good game today. Like, that's been the problem as my older stars have been retiring. The new generation, I'm getting a lot of like solid players, but I don't have the like star player potential coming up from Canadian new gens. Like, I've pretty much gotten the 2 stars out of the team, but I'm not getting any 5-star players. And we're just battering this goal now. If we keep this up, we'll easily get some more goals. David was offside there. I was going to comment that Mujkic teamed up with David for a goal so that we'd get our 2 people that we have to take off at 45 working together, but was not to be. Oh, that was a tight offside, though. I thought he was fairly obviously offside, but it looks like he was just barely off there. That looks like an humiliating own goal for Pito. See it had happened because it looked very humiliating from that top down. Yeah, that's bad. He's going to be embarrassed about that one. Mujkic is putting in a good performance today. He seems to be everywhere lately. First we've seen of Kemp. He's not been having a great performance. Mujkic is trying to involve him into play, and he's just like, how can I get rid of the ball as quick as possible? And I don't even care what color jersey they're wearing. Nice tackle from Awujo there, but unfortunately Castanier got it back. I'm getting the feeling that Castanier might be their best player. And now Bito's gotten a yellow card, so he's just having an awful day today. Oh, I guess it's Sydney Bito. It seems like those are both his last name. I'm going to have to check the numbers at the half, but I have a feeling that I want to sub Kemp off pretty quick, too. It feels like what the few times he's been involved in the play, it's been bad. And he's been mostly just interested in dumping the ball off him as quickly as possible. That was a pretty solid strike. But I don't know what the hell that pass was up the pitch from Curacao. Kemp's really not doing a good job of covering Castanier either, and since I thought he was the best player on the team, that's going to be a problem. So Kemp's looking like a strong candidate for an early sub. Alright. Get the people off that need to come off for No, I guess Kemp's coasting off the assist he got earlier. But he's doing well enough that I'm not going to take him off right now. We'll get the people off that I need to have off at the half. So Mujkic, despite having the second best performance on the team, is coming off for Arja. And David, who's actually having a pretty poor game, is coming off for Tabla. Make sure everyone's playing in a good position for them. Tabla's not going to get any better. How about Arja? Arja can get better if I play him as a deep-lying playmaker, so we're going to do that. Neither one of them's really at the caliber I'd like for the team. Nice little move by Owusu to up to Amrani, who's got a breakaway for another goal, which he gets, assisted by Owusu. So now we're starting to take a comfortable lead. That first half was closer than I would have liked. This was a really nice solo effort from Amrani. I mean, I know he was technically assisted, but he ran most of the pitch by himself. Not taking anything away from Owusu, though. I liked that move he made. Oh yeah, that reminds me, there was an analysis that popped in right before the half that I wanted to check. Harbour to mark Castanier. Yeah, that is important. So we left Castanier unmarked longer than I probably should have, but didn't have any ill effect. I'm not sure what's going on with Nelson and Near over there. Tavla just made an embarrassing shot that got immediately taken away from him. Let's see here. Everyone's playing alright. Harbour's actually having the worst performance so far, so I'm going to take him off for Mello. This is mostly just to get Mello some playing experience. Oh, and Bonifacio got a yellow. Here we go, now Mello's on the field. He is not very good, is he? Yeah, 1.5 star. That might have been a mistake to play him at all. I can see why he doesn't get much playing experience. Nice pass up to Amrani, but I'm pretty sure he was offside. Apparently he wasn't, though, since we have a corner. Broken up by Castanier for no surprise. This is the one way they can get success, is by getting it up to Castanier. But Carducci's kind of onto him now. everyone's playing rather well. I'm going to take Bonifacio off so that yellow doesn't get worse. Put in Lazarov. Or does he want to play further forwards? Or maybe I can swing Owusu up. Lazarov doesn't really fit this formation that well, but I don't have anyone better to put in there. So I'm going to do something a little unconventional and move him up, have him play as a higher winger. There, at least he's okay, useful. He's not very good, but we're leading, and right now it's just about getting minutes. Another good breakaway from Castanier that required Carducci to make the save. I can't help but feel that this game would be a blowout if it wasn't for Castanier. He's not going to get player of the match because his team is losing by too much. He can't possibly be scored high enough, since whether you win or lose is factored heavily into that. But I wouldn't be too offended if he got player of the match. He seems to have made... The only person who seems to have made more of an impact scored while I was saying that, and that's Amrani, who in this case was assisted by Tabla. He's probably going to be the player of the match, but it's kind of too bad with that kind of performance to just not get there. Yeah, we're going to take Nelson off now. It's either him, Brogolard, or no one. And Nelson is far more tired. So we're going to put in O'Connor for him. This also has the added benefit of getting O'Connor a bit of match sharpness, which he's sorely lacking. That's why I was looking at where he can play even before I made the decision to take Nelson off. It was a beautiful goal. Connor's not a super comfortable winger. Where is he comfortable at? Oh, he is comfortable as a winger. He just wants to play in like a 4-2-3-1 type format instead of the 4-4-2 that I usually play in. And he's he's not that good. I was looking at Arja. He's not great in this position. Let's see how he would be if I put him up here. He's solid there, but I don't think he's going to be getting a lot of call-ups in the future just because the formation we're playing really doesn't suit him that well. Like, he's being shoehorned into he's not awful at this position, but it's not close to his top position. And as long as Alphonso Davies and Jonathan David are active, I don't see myself changing from the 4-4-2, which seems to really suit them. So, he's probably going to lose out just on the fact that he doesn't fit our formation. Unless he starts developing into a deeper midfielder. But that's really up to his home club. It's nice to get a nice 3-goal win like we seem to be on base here. That's exactly the sort of thing the team needed to bounce back. Like, I knew we were going to lose to Ecuador, most likely, but it still does a number on their confidence. There doesn't seem to be a way to get the players in the headspace of you're not going to win here, so just Don't worry about it. Although I might not get that 3-goal win when another Castanier breakout here. Although his finish was terrible. Good defending there. Let's see if Connor. Oh, no, Connor can't do anything to impress me. He dumped the ball instantly. And then got caught up double blocking Arias, allowing Castanier to get open. That was a better play from him. It was actually a nice header over to Amrani. I'm assuming it was a header by the way it came off. And Amrani scores, assisted by O'Connor, so that's a hat trick for Amrani. I've been very pleased with him. I was underwhelmed for a long time with him, but I think it was just because I was comparing him to Jonathan David. And of course, he's no David, but he is a very solid striker in his own right. And he's still young while David's reaching the end of his career. He might as well whistle this down. Curacao are not scoring 4 goals in a minute. So sure, they can give us the extra time from that goal celebration, but I'd be alright if it was just whistled dead here too. And that's the game. No milestones there. I thought maybe I got someone their first cap, but apparently not. The referee, despite not being super skilled, had a phenomenal game, so that's good. Nice change after that terrible reffing in the Ecuador game. Yeah, Emrani was player of the match. The under 20s qualified for the under 20 World Cup, so that's nice. And they're into the final of the championship. There's the confirmation that Emrani is a player of the match. That's unfortunately Matia's out for a few days with a twisted knee. He's not a key player, but he breaks into the team at times. Given how fresh we are off the break, I think that he wouldn't have made the bench during the Stellenbosch game, so we're probably fine. Oh, we got 18,000 from the Chinsei deal. I'm perfectly willing to let anyone who wants to go to this after 21's match. It's not competing with any of my matches, and I need to get people or keep people match fit over the international break. So even though that's technically over, it's good to keep them playing. Looks like a different Mattia picked up a knock in this. Oh no, I think that was already reported to me. Nice to see Tunkara getting an international call up. Or actually, an actual cap, not just a call up. He's gotten a couple of call ups, but this is the first time they've played him. Mexico just destroyed the Canadian under 20s. I clicked buy rather quick because I don't really pay a lot of attention to what the other teams are up to. I like to get the reports, but especially in the international matches, I can't do anything with them and we can't share players, so I don't really worry about what they're up to. Well, that Stellenbosch match we were planning for just got rescheduled. So all of a sudden we have a free week. So we're gonna have to check the schedule, see who's coming up next instead. Oh, this is the Canadian schedule. I need the Amazulu. So with that change, we are now going to play Black Leopards again. That's unfortunate. Don't love that. This is just making a mess of my schedule. And they're trying to take Saketlong, but they weren't offering enough money. Which pissed Saketlong off. I tried to get Nedlovo to resolve it. Cheers him up to be asked to do it, and he actually managed to talk him out of it. I mean, I kind of get why Saketlong was upset, but I play him a lot. There's no way I'm letting him go. It looks like Black Leopard's run of excellent form is starting to come to an end now. But it's still unfortunate that we have to play them twice in a row. At least Fountain got over being annoyed that I was complimenting him on doing well at training relatively quick. This change in the schedule really annoyed me. I was looking forward to that Stellenbosch match to try to improve our morale before we had to play Black Leopards again. Now I'm bringing in a demoralized team against a team that just beat them. And this match really matters. Black Leopards still have a ton of games in hand. And they're only 2 points behind us, so they are, like I said, probably the best team in the league this year. Although they're the best on ability, I doubt they'll finish first because clearly they're going to have an incredibly busy run at some point to make up all those games. And I can see that breaking them so that they can't win as much as they would with the games more spread out. NYCFC are apparently interested in Tunkara, who's another person I don't want to lose. The good news is they probably won't offer me enough money to sell him, so I'm not as worried as when I see the Saudis going into my roster. Dormini. Not too bad a schedule coming up. 2 games a week is pretty manageable. It looks like we're getting pretty close to being able to field the squad I actually want to field. Like, I'm having to make minimal changes here. Oops. They think we're the comfortable favorites, but I think the press are misjudging it because Amazula, that's us. Because Black Leopards is. Oh, I just saw Leopards run a form. The only win they have is when they beat us, so yeah. Actually, we probably are the favorites for this match. Now, I have to actually think about who I let the under 21s have. Malongo and Minkube, they're not challenging for spots. And Matia's coming back from injury, so sure. Four to 5 attackers. 1, 2. Only 2. Matenjwa can be pretty good as an attacker. Safema is pretty good. Let's see if I can get a better one. No, it's either Safema or Lacala, and Lacala's probably better kept on defense. We're going to call it Migwigwi because he's developed beyond the reserves. And compliment Matenjwa for continuing to play awesome for us. You know, look at what Migwigwe is actually good at. I don't think he's going to get much playing time in the first team. He doesn't look good enough to break into those spots. Whatever, I'll just loan him back down to reserves. Probably stick him on the transfer list at the end of the year. Pirates have gone on quite a run since they were at the bottom of the table a few weeks back. This is what I like to see come up for my transfer windows. Solid 19-year-old midfielder from South Africa. Like, he's not great right now, but he's got amazing potential. Lots of new people they want me to scout this time. Migwigwe is the only person who needed a fitness test, and he's doesn't need to be monitored too closely. He's also probably not making the team. Decent conditions, warm, calm, okay pitch. Decent referee. I don't know why they seem to have him as only like a youth level referee when he's refed a bunch of PSL. Whatever. Yeah, not making any changes to the team. Mirsavic's not quite at the level I'd like. Neither is Sinago. Lacala is bad. Saketlong's bad, but he gets into the team a lot. Matenge was not quite at the level I'd like. Everyone else is alright. We haven't really gotten back to the solid team I was listing earlier in the season. But I don't think it's so much of a product of injury at this point. It's just that people's skills have dropped off with all the shuffling around. That is weird formation that Black Leopards are going on. They're very defensive looking. Fountain just basically hit on another player and intercepted the pass, but he couldn't get it clear. Mimbui got a yellow. Good defending from Nkosi there. It's nice to see us getting lots of early corners. This already feels like a better match for us than the last one did. Great play from Long. And Nikosi with another good save. But we're 13 minutes in. We've had 4 good strikes on goal. Good goal from Aquaquina, assisted by Matenjwa. Black Leopards are not looking like the team that just bullied us in that cup match. And we've pulled ourselves up into third, so we are way above where we were supposed to be this season. We're probably going to have a fall off later in the year, because I don't think we have the depth to maintain this, but it's nice while it lasts. I just don't want to get a couple of losses in a row. Like, if we had kept the Palaquine City match in the middle and had beat them the way I anticipated, I would have been okay with losing this match again, because, like I said, I think Black Leopards are on paper the best team in the league. And we're not supposed to be as good as we are, so we're going to have to start taking some losses at some point. Fountain gets a beautiful goal there, assisted by Matenjwa. We're pissed off about that last result, and we're making a message. I mean, that's good too. If we can let our few losses fuel us and actually outperform for the season, I'll take it. Board might actually give me some money next year if that happens. Ketlang overran that a little bit. I think he's still shaken by the fact that I didn't agree to his trade a little while ago. We managed to talk him into staying inside, but I think he's probably still disappointed. And mentality counts for a ton in this game. Another nice strike from Aquaquina. This does not look like the same two teams that last game had. It's amazing what we can do when we're fresh. So our biggest enemy is clearly stamina. Which doesn't make me super happy about how concentrated the end of our December is going to be. Looks like Black Leopards are starting to get things back together, but it's a case of too little, too late. They haven't had a shot on goal yet. We're shutting down their only good players, or their only players that are performing. There's just slightly more than half an hour left. We're still passing the ball really nicely. Like, that's what happens when we get tired. We break down our passing ability. We start having to substitute in under people and lose the continuity. These guys have been training in these positions for 2 weeks through that international break, so they have a good feel for where everyone is. But yeah, Black Leopards are waking up. I figured this was going to happen. They weren't going to keep looking that bad for the entire game. They don't get the kind of results they've pulled this season if they're that bad. I think McQuaquina was onside for that. He gets his 11th goal of the season, assisted by Fountain. I've been really pleased with Fountain. He's one of my best players. I think that's a Saudi team that was trying to buy him. I hope they don't come back with another offer. I really don't want to lose him. And at some point, if they're interested, they will offer too much money and I'll have to let him go. Okay, so Ketlong is not playing well and he doesn't care, so he's getting the boot for Tunkara. Tunkara is phenomenal in that role. It's just he's had so many injuries that he's not getting started there. Still trying to get his fitness back to 100%. We can see he's not at great fitness even after he just has been in for like 2 minutes. That was a great strike from Safema, but unfortunately there was an offside in the build-up. That's the problem with McQuaquina being so good at getting forward. He's not always good enough at getting back. But we're up by 3 with 25 minutes left to play. We don't really need more. Not going to tell them to slow down on the attacking. I want them to keep this killer instinct. But it's not a huge deal that we got that goal called back. And I think that's the first time Nidlova really had anything to do today. Risky pass through to Tunkara there, but it paid off. Unfortunately, Black Leopards are parking the bus pretty good and shut him down well. But we're back to Tunkara, and now he's open. Gets a goal to reward his good play since he came in. Oh, wait. Oh, no, that's an offside from Kunkabi. Or an own goal from Kunkabi. I thought Tunkara maybe just got offside when I saw the red under the ball in the corner, but it's not an offside. I don't like that they credited that to Kunkabi. I think that should still go to Tunkara. It was in off Kunkabi, but only because Tunkara kicked it right into his leg. I feel like our guy's getting robbed of a goal credit there. We'll have to look at the referee rating at the end of the match, but that would be something that I might be upset about. McQuaquina gets one assisted by Tunkara, so at least Tunkara got an assist. And this is just turning into a rout. I can't believe these are the same two teams that played 2 weeks ago. It's even mostly the same players. I only made 2 changes and they were defensive. Absolutely everyone's having a good game, but I need to still rotate players. Tunkara's been on the pitch for 10 minutes and is already into a 7.0 rated performance. Fountain's the most tired, but I don't want to take off a guy getting a 9.3. Everyone's in about the same range. I'm going to take Lecala off. Actually, no. Let's do Safema. He's playing worse. I say worse, not bad, but we'll get Monty Bantois a few minutes out there. He doesn't see play that often. Especially not in this role, but it's where he's only decent, but only way he's going to get better is if he's forced to do it sometimes, and he can't really cost us anything by screwing up now, because there's no way Leopards score 6 in 20 minutes. As Tunkara carelessly loses the ball. But he got it back right away. I think we're starting to show mental cracks more than anything. It's not... I mean, Black Leopards are getting their head in the game, but it's not that they're suddenly that much better. It's that our guys are playing with the cockiness of it says we're in good mental states, but I think they must be starting to play with the confidence of being up by 5. Yeah, Tunkara is out of his phenomenal performance after that mistake. He's not getting subbed back off, though. Now I'll sub off Lecala. Lecala is the only other person in 7 and get Senamela a couple of minutes of action. Another case where he's not usually in at that position, and I want to get him some minutes. It's impressive. I still feel like there's another goal in this for us, but that wasn't it. We hit the post. Senamela is actually pretty decent as a fullback, but he just tends to be needed elsewhere. And we're finally starting to get some depth at that fullback position. And now we're just wasting time. That was a horrible cross. There was nowhere even close to where that fell out. And it's calm weather, so we can't even blame the wind. It was just bad play. Tunkara is actually in the middle of an epic collapse right now. Came in, was phenomenal for the first few minutes, and then just got worse. Okay, the ref did a good job, so obviously that own goal was actually an own goal. Siasi made his 75th appearance for us. Sinago made his 25th appearance for us. Safema made his 50th. Matenjwa made his 25th appearance in the league, all of which were for us. Makwakwana scored his 25th goal for us. And then the last one is a Black Leopards highlight. That went way better than expected. So we'll just... Yeah, we're comfortably in 3rd with 20 points right now. Tied in games with Chiefs. We have a game in hand on Chippa, who are ahead of us by 3. So effectively we're tied with them. Wits has a game on us. So they're a threat. With this win over Black Leopards, we've knocked them all the way down to 9th. I think we've killed the chances of them going on a big run. Oh yeah, that's probably why they're playing terrible. They're up to 10 games played now. They were at 8. So they must have played like 2 days ago too. Let's see, because I'm trying to figure out why they looked so different against. Yeah, they played 2 days ago. 21, 20, 18, 21. Since our last game, they had a game on the 18th, game on the 21st, game on the 23rd, game on the 25th, game on the 28th, and a game on the 30th. Yeah, there's their big clump of games. So they're just exhausted. That's why we're able to play them off the pitch. That makes more sense now. Well, it's nice for it to happen to another team instead of us all the time. McQuackman was our player of the match. And the Super Sport manager is interested in Tao. Keep your hands off Tao. I might need to give Tao a new contract just to keep him on board once his contract runs out. Expires in 7 months. Yeah, I'll probably need to offer him a new deal soon. But that's a problem for next time. For now, we're going to take a look at what schedule we have coming up. And then we're signing off because we got our 2 matches done. So at the end of this month, we have FC San Pedro de Cote d'Ivoire, who we should be able to just bully. We are going up there for the match. Or no, we're hosting them. So that should be pretty easy. And then we have Pirates, who are on a hell of a run. Like, they were worst in the league for a little bit, and I was feeling like this was a massive change, but looking at what they've done, they've been on a huge winning chunk since I looked at that. 1 loss, 1 draw, and they won everything else. So we're getting them at a dangerous time. This could go either direction. So that'll be an interesting match, and hopefully you'll join me for it. But for now, thank you for watching, everyone, and have a great day.